The Nollywood industry woke up to a heartbreak once again on November 24th when news broke that comic actor Odira Nwobu had passed away suddenly in the early hours of the morning in South Africa. He died at the age of 43. The shock spread like wildfire. It wasn't just that he died, it was how he died. So suddenly, so painfully, and so soon that it came barely months after he survived a horrific accident along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. This crash claimed the lives of his friends and left him as the only survivor. Many believed he had escaped the worst. No one imagined another tragedy was quietly waiting ahead. But what really happened in South Africa? How did a man who laughed, danced, joked, and posted Instagram stories just hours earlier suddenly take his last breath? This is how it unfolded. The trip to South Africa with untouchable comedy and other content creators was planned as a fun getaway. They wanted to explore, relax, make memories, and create content, and for a while, everything went smoothly. Then the day before his death arrived. That morning, Odira began complaining that he wasn't feeling well. His body felt strange. He felt weak in a way he couldn't explain. He said his body was doing somehow, and he didn't understand what exactly was happening. But because they had scheduled several activities and nobody wanted to miss out, his friends encouraged him to push through. They told him vacations weren't for staying indoors. They insisted he would feel better along the way. They believed it was just minor fatigue from the previous day's outing. And because he didn't want to be the odd one out, because nobody likes to be left behind on a group trip, and because fear of missing out is real, Odira agreed to join them. This decision would mark the beginning of his final journey. The adventure took them to a park filled with thrilling rides, including one of those high-altitude spinning machines, the kind that throws people around in circles high in the sky. Nigerians casually call it jangolova because of how violently it spins people. When Odira saw it, he immediately said he didn't want to go on the ride. He told them clearly that he was feeling chest pain and that the spinning made him scared. He didn't want to risk it. He didn't feel safe. This was the second clear warning his body gave. But his friends, wanting him to share the experience, encouraged him once again. They told him it was all part of the vacation in South Africa. They insisted it would be fun, memorable, and harmless. Eventually, after pushing aside his fear and discomfort, he joined them. They even made videos of him looking frightened, unaware that the real danger wasn't the ride. It was his body struggling inside his chest. When the ride ended, he felt worse. He complained again, saying his body was feeling unusual. But just like before, the people with him reassured him that everything would be fine. After their time at the amusement park and after the jangolova ride that his body clearly did not want, evening slowly began to settle over the city. For many tourists, nighttime is the heart of the South African experience. And for Odira's group of friends, that meant one thing: clubbing. Even though Odira was already tired and feeling unwell, the night's plans were set. The group went from one club to another, not just one or two, but 4 different clubs, hopping from place to place, following the music, the excitement, and the energy of the moment. Inside each club, the atmosphere was rowdy, loud music, flashing lights, alcohol everywhere. Dancing, shouting, and laughter. It was a kind of environment that wakes some people up, but drains others, especially someone whose body was already fighting. From the first club, Odira complained that he was tired. In the second club, he said that he needed rest. But the third club, his body was clearly slowing down. But the group wasn't ready to stop. They kept encouraging him to push through. They told him he would be fine. They insisted they were not done with the night yet. In the final club they visited, they ordered a lot of bottles of energy drink to boost him. And in the spirit of the moment, he took it, even posting it on his Instagram story. That energy drink mixed with alcohol, noise, stress, and high blood pressure was like throwing fuel into a burning fuse. He didn't know it was dangerous. His friends didn't know it was deadly. Nobody imagined that that tiny drink can worsen his condition. But the truth is simple. Energy drinks are lethal for people battling high blood pressure. And for someone who had complained of chest pain earlier, the risk was even higher. Still, the night continued until they finally decided to head home. By the time they returned to their accommodation, it was clear that Odira was exhausted. His body was weak, his breathing was slightly heavier. All he wanted was to lie down and rest. But before he could even do that, he was given another task, a short advert to record for their social media contents that night. It wasn't supposed to take long, it wasn't supposed to be stressful, just a simple video. He tried, he really tried, but as he recorded, it became obvious something was terribly wrong. He struggled to catch his breath. He couldn't finish his lines. He kept pausing mid-sentence, gasping lightly, confused and scared. This was no longer ordinary tiredness. It was a body crying out for help. He finally told them he didn't understand what was happening inside him. They told him to rest, that he could finish the recording later. He lay down, and that simple decision to lie down instead of going straight to the hospital became the point of no return. For the next couple of hours, his friends assumed he was just sleeping off exhaustion, but Odira's body was shutting down internally. At some point during the night, his breathing became irregular, his pulse slowed, his organs began to fail. Then his body reacted in one of the final signs of biological shutdown. He defecated on himself. When his friends noticed this, panic hit them like thunder. They rushed to him. They shook him. They called his name, but he wasn't responding. They immediately called for an ambulance, but by the time the paramedics arrived, it was too late. At 3 a.m., right there in South Africa, they confirmed him dead. The moment those words were spoken, everything changed. The laughter that had filled that house hours earlier vanished. The light suddenly felt too bright, the silence too loud. His friends who had danced with him, shouted with him, filmed with him, were now staring at his lifeless body, trying to understand how everything went so terribly wrong in just a few hours. Moments later, South African police arrived at the scene. Standard procedure. A sudden death in a foreign country required immediate action. They sealed off the area and began interviewing everyone who had been with him that day. As the questioning went on, a chilling revelation emerged, one that changed the entire understanding of how he died. One of his friends finally disclosed something crucial. Just 3 days before his death, Odira had suffered a heart attack. His chest had been beating violently, like drums hammering inside him. He struggled to breathe. He panicked. They rushed him to a nearby pharmacy where his blood pressure was checked. The reading, 171. Dangerously high, the kind of number that kills people silently. The pharmacist told him plainly that if they had delayed even a little longer, he would have died right there. He was giving medications immediately, and within a couple of days, he became stable. But then he made a fatal mistake, a mistake so many people make. He stopped taking his medication as soon as he felt slightly better, because his chest no longer hurt, because he felt stronger, because he believed the danger had passed. But high blood pressure doesn't disappear overnight. It requires consistent treatment, monitoring, and discipline. Skipping medication after a heart scare is like standing on the edge of a cliff and hoping the wind will behave. Unfortunately, nobody reminded him, and when he began complaining of weakness on the day of the outing, the medication didn't cross anyone's mind. They brushed it off as stress or fatigue, not knowing his heart was practically begging for mercy. After gathering all testimonies, the police concluded that the exact cause of death needed to be confirmed through a forensic autopsy. This was important not just for record purposes, but for the protection of everyone who was with him. The autopsy report is expected within few days, and it will reveal precisely how his body failed, what complications set in, and whether any toxic substances contributed to his collapse. But even before the autopsy, one thing is clear: this tragedy could have been avoided. His body warned him multiple times. He complained multiple times. He survived a heart crisis days earlier, yet excitement, peer pressure, and the desire to enjoy the moment drowned out the warning signs. While the world mourns an entertainer, a comedian, and a friend, the people who feel the sharpest edge of this pain are those he left behind. Odira was a family man, married to his wife, Gifty, and blessed with a daughter in 2023. His daughter is barely 2 years old, still learning to speak, still identifying her surroundings. surroundings, still waiting for many fatherly memories, and would now never happen. His friends say he loved his family deeply. He worked tirelessly so that his daughter would grow up comfortable, and that perhaps is what makes his death even harder to accept. Born on May 24, 1982 in Enugu State, the actor lived an inspiring but simple life. He was 43 years old at the time of his death. Odira was more than just a Nollywood actor. He was a natural comedian whose presence alone could brighten a room. Whether on movie sets or in online skits, Odira had a way of turning the simplest situations into pure comedy. By the time he entered the Nollywood scene in mid-2000s, he quickly carved a space for himself. People recognized him, loved him, and embraced his brand of humor. His skits on social media gained traction, and he became known across different generations, especially among younger generations who adored his playful personality. How could someone who had just cheated death a few months earlier who lose his life to complications from high blood pressure triggered on a simple vacation? How could the same man who had survived a deadly accident now die quietly in his sleep in a foreign land? Just a few months earlier, in June 2025, Odira had been involved in a ghastly accident on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The vehicle he was traveling in was crushed beyond recognition, and his friends who were with him lost their lives instantly. Odira was the only survivor, battered, bleeding, and hanging onto life with the finest thread. Doctors didn't believe he would recover easily, but somehow he pulled through. His fans gathered online in prayer, and when he eventually surfaced to share a testimony video, he narrated how he had watched death circle around him, only for God to snatch him back. People celebrated him. Many said he was a walking miracle. Nobody imagined that another tragedy was silently waiting for him in the corner of the year. Before this video comes to an end, make sure you don't miss what's coming next right here on your screen. There is a video ready for you to watch, and trust me, you don't want to skip it. Just click on it now. Yes, go ahead and stop it so you can jump straight into the next video we have prepared for you. Don't wait until this video ends because it will go away. Click now. I will see you in the next video.